Dropped it in Taves. A goal saved by Nugent Hopkins. Rebound. Hit the goal post.
Nugent Hopkins for the Vezina. What's going on, everybody? JD here, and welcome to this edition of the American OILER Recap Show, brought to you by, yes, an American. Although I do think I need to address the elephant in the broadcast room. After I uploaded last week's episode on a Tuesday, went and listened to Bob Stauffer's show on Wednesday, in which he had to chat some crap about his play-by-play partner, Jack Michaels, who's from Western Pennsylvania. Guess there are two of us now. Now, a couple of brief roster moves to talk about before we get into the results of this 4-game road trip. Josh Archibald and Alex Chason were activated from injured reserve. Both had suffered from flu-like symptoms. They were eligible to return to the ice on Saturday at Madison Square Garden against the Rangers, in which they did. And Colby Cave, put on waivers on Saturday, cleared him on Sunday, sent down to Bakersfield. He will make his Condors debut tonight in Stockton. Jumping into the results of the road trip, Edmonton first heading to Long Island, visiting the Islanders at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum, in which a familiar story played out, the Edmonton Oilers falling behind early. A shorthanded goal from Beauvillier, beating Koskinen, where else? Glove side. Sure, he was falling over, which isn't exactly the best way to play goaltender, but beat him over his left shoulder. However, the current trend in Edmonton right now is to come back in games. And guess who single-handedly made that comeback happen? The real deal, James Neal. Hashtag thanks, Calgary. 2 even strength goals and 2 on the power play have helped solidify him as the league's top goal scorer. He picked up another one in Chicago and leads the league with 8. Zach Kassian added the 5th tally on Long Island to solidify the blowout. This just goes back to one of the philosophies that I hear preached a lot on broadcasts. I hear in a lot of locker rooms and from playing sports in high school. It's put shots on net, go and do the thing, and good things will happen. And while the shooting percentage is going to drop, just the sheer amount of shots he's going to take this year, he's the only one scoring so far for the Oilers. He's put the most pucks on net, as best as I can tell. He's got 8 goals to show for it. So, I mean, why not? Keep shooting it, man. Now on to Thursday night in New Jersey at the Prudential Center. Spoiler alert, a game the Oilers should have lost. I mean, the Cult of Hockey, their podcast was titled Oilers Win on Guaranteed Loss Night. Trailed 3 different points of the game. Tippett pulled Koskinen at the end of the third, while also on a power play to get that third goal. They played the entire overtime period with no stoppages. I mean, the guys were literally falling over each other just to get through those 5 minutes. Taylor Hall had a good breakaway chance in that overtime period. Should have beaten Koskinen, but the big Finn stood tall. So we go to a shootout. We're just going to skip the game, go straight to the shootout. James Neal scored, but that's really the only important thing that happened in regulation. Straight to the shootout. Jack Hughes, oh my goodness, that kid can play. That kid can play. Took literally all 6'7" of Mikko Koskinen to deny him at the doorstep. And then Leon goes and wins it on the other end with a perfectly placed shot in off the post. Edmonton escapes New Jersey with a 4-3 win. Now let's venture into the East Coast League for a second. Wichita dropped the puck against the Indy Fuel on Friday night. Indy, the ECHL affiliate of the Chicago Blackhawks. And the Fuel came out on top in this game 4-3 in OT. They basically had the game put away in the first. 3 even strength goals. Wichita claws back in the second to push it to 4-3. For Bo Starrett equalizes in the third, only to force overtime. Indy scores 4.5 minutes into that period, so they almost got to the end of that period, but not enough from Wichita. Lots of penalties taken in this game. Rapid City goes up 3-2 in the second period before 2 third-period power play goals from the Thunder see them finish this game off. Now, I'm personally a fan of the East Coast League just as a whole. I've been to a couple venues through the South during my time in school. Love the low-stress atmosphere of watching some smaller professional hockey being played. I can hang out with the friends, have a beer, have a burger, whatever it is, and just watch some sport going on. You can go to a game for like $15. I mean, what's not to love about that? That was such an American thing for me to say, now wasn't it? Now on to Saturday. The New York Rangers at the Garden. Would love to be at that game. Yes, to watch the Oilers, but also to say that I've seen an event at Madison Square Garden. I've been there as a tourist once. That was about 3,000 years ago. So I would love to actually see it being used for something relevant. Now, just like every other game this season, the Oilers fell behind early. Now, Capo Caco, that's such a fun name to say, makes Oscar Klefbom look foolish, plays a little 1-2 with Ryan Strome to get his first National Hockey League goal. Well done for you, man. Well done. Oscar gets his revenge in the second. Absolute laser from the point. And then the third period was the third period. Connor gets one on the power play. And then Leon takes over from there. The third goal at 13-12 of the third. And then the empty netter at the end of the game to effectively ice it. I don't know why you get any sort of assist credit on an empty netter. Pretty sure Leon just took the puck and ran with it with some half-hearted checks from the Rangers defenders. Now, after this game, Edmonton goes 5-0-0, 10 points on the season, perfect start to the year, while also falling behind in each of those 5 games. An NHL first that a team falls behind in each of their 5 openers and then goes on and win each of those 5 games. Good on the Oilers. Very, very good showing through the first 5 games. Now, my only concern through these first 5 games, well, there are several, but the main one is the amount of ice time that Leon Draisaitl is getting in these games on this road trip against New York, against the New York Hockey Islanders, 21-52, against the Devils, 25-41, against the Rangers, 23-25, and almost 27 minutes against Chicago. I get that he's a workhorse. I get that he's one of the best on the ice right now. But if he keeps up this pace of playing on all 3 phases of the game, even strength on the power play and on the penalty kill, he's going to burn himself out and he's going to get hurt. So where's that happy medium? That's one question that I would like to see answered. Actually, it's one I would like to see asked of Dave Tippett is where's the line with Leon Draisaitl? Where's the cap with how much he's going to play before it gets to a point where it's too much? And if he wants to go, all right, he wants to go. But someone's got to know where that limit is and when he's exceeded it. That's all I'm going to say. Now let's jump back to the American League level for a second. The Condors went down to San Jose to play the Barracuda at the SAP Center. Yes, I said it wrong last week. I've been alerted. Now, if I may take a quick dig at said SAP Center, there were about 30 people there. I mean, come on now. You've got a hockey team. Let's go support them now. That is my pitch to support hockey. A couple of good things from this game. Kyler Yamamoto gets his 3rd goal of the season. I believe first Condors player in program history to score 3 goals in their first 3 games, so good on him. Josh Curry was also bidding for that. He did not score in this game, but Ryan McLeod gets his first professional goal in the Oilers organization as a Bakersfield Condor, so good on him as well. The Condors were not able to turn over a late charge from the Barracuda. They fall in this one 4-3. Now, Ryan McLeod's another character that interests me on this Condors team. He's got the pace. He's got some hands. I want to see him play some more top-line minutes with the Condors. I realize he's got to get through the top 6. That includes the likes of Sam Gagner, Tyler Benson, Cooper Marody. I believe Cameron Hebig could also still slot in there. You're also looking at Josh Curry and Kyle Yamamoto. Give McLeod some second or third line minutes. I want to see what kind of wheels and skills he's got. I feel like he's one of those players that's not as far off as some people are making it out to be. I'm curious to see what this kid has and when he's gonna see the light of day, you know? Final game of this road trip in Chicago, and this is where things did not go the Edmonton Oilers' way. They fall in this one 3-1, and honestly, there's not even anything worth showing in this game. I tabbed through it at work, and just not a lot of good play from Edmonton. I mean, when your one and only goal is scored late, like 58th, 59th minute late, there wasn't a whole lot to see in the game. What I did see was sluggish play against a team that hadn't won yet and was scrapping and clawing to get that first victory. And when you know that's what the team's going to be throwing at you, you've got to respond accordingly. Edmonton did not do that in this game in Chicago. Could have come home 6-0 with 12 points in the bag, but hey, I will gladly take 10 points and still to be atop the Pacific Division. Absolutely nothing wrong with leading the Pacific after your first week and a half of regular season. And now for a quick check of the standings. As has been said, Edmonton leads the Pacific 5-1-0 on the season at 10 points. Vegas and Anaheim both 4-2-0 sitting at 8 points. Calgary slipping a little bit, 2-3-1, holding 5 points. Vancouver 2-2-0 at 4 points. Los Angeles 2-3-0 at 4 points. San Jose 2-4-0 at 4 points. It just gets worse as you go down the Pacific. Arizona a meager 1-2-1, good for 3 points in the Pacific Division. To the American League, Bakersfield slips to 5th in the Pacific Division. Stockton a perfect 3-0, good for 6 points. Ontario dropped a result 2-1-1, good for 5 points. Tucson and San Jose sit at 4 points. Then Bakersfield followed by Colorado at 2 points. Poor San Diego has not gotten a point yet this season. They've lost all 3 of their games. And to the East Coast League, the Mountain Division, Wichita sits 3rd after their opening 2 games. Idaho and Allen, perfect 2-0 through their first couple of games down there as well. Rapid City in 4th, followed by Tulsa, Utah, and the Kansas City Mavericks. Upcoming schedule, Condors are in Stockton tonight. Take on the Heat. That's a late one for you, boy. I'll be watching that one tomorrow. Tomorrow night, the Oilers meet the Flyers back home at Rogers Place. Another late puck drop here on the East Coast. That's a 9:30 start time. Friday, the Oilers host the Red Wings. Another 9 o'clock puck drop. I might catch some of that one at work. We'll see. Saturday, the Condors host Stockton at Mechanics Bank Arena. And then Sunday, the Oilers go to Winnipeg and face the Jets. Wichita also in action tomorrow at Utah. It's an 8:05 Central Time puck drop, followed by a back-to-back road series with the Idaho Steelheads. Both of those games start at 8:10 p.m. Central. So that does it for this episode of the AOR. I won't bore you with the like and subscribe pitch, but I would sure appreciate it if you would. So for now, no matter what country you're in, this is always oil country.